This episode of Rust Reviews contains spoilers for the Fantastic Four First Steps.
Okay. You're now listening to Russ Reviews, is what you want me to say.
Yeah, say it with some gravitas.
Oh no, I'm not good at this performative stuff. I'll try. Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. You're now listening to Russ Reviews.
That's great. That feels like you imitating me podcasting. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Russ Reviews podcast. I am the aforementioned Russ, and today we have a very, very, very special guest. I did say that 3 times because he is very special. It is the indelible, the iconic, the tenacious Casey, Mr. Summers. Summers, what's up, Casey?
What's up, Russ? Thanks for having me on.
Now, Casey, you know this, but you are a special, special, special guest because you and I used to have a podcast together called, tell the people what it was called.
Film Lovers Podcasts.
Film Lovers Podcast, yes. And this is going to be, this is my second movie podcast for Rust Reviews. The first episode was a movie one. Me and Mickey reviewed the worst movies ever. Do you want to guess what my worst movie ever was? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I mean,
It has
the
cars.
rooms
It has cars in it.
has cars in it.
Yeah, cars are a big
Uh,
feature.
uh, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know.
It's called Cars.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was too obvious. Okay.
Casey hasn't listened to the podcast, just so everyone knows. But Casey and I, with our friend David Ryan Anderson, we had a podcast. We started it in late 2017, and it went through 2019. Geography, COVID killed Film Lovers podcast, but our love for film lives on. And I'm really excited to have you for the first, this is the first straight up movie review for Russ Reviews. And we're going to be reviewing the Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, Casey, this is fun for me because during our time with Film Lovers podcast, we reviewed Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. We got to live through and review the heart of the MCU back in the day. And we also got to review Movie Pass. Do you remember Movie Pass?
Best year of my life. Of course I do. I
How
miss it
many
so much.
how many movies did you see with Movie Pass that year?
I actually have it written down somewhere. I could go look it up, but I want to guess like 64 movies,
Wow.
65. Yeah, what about you? I'm gonna look it up. Give me a second while you answer my question.
I don't have a list. I have a matchbox full of ticket stubs from that era, and the matchbox is full. So I remember seeing a lot of really bad movies, but I was like, well, use it or lose it, so gotta go. And
Yeah.
I also remember it being very kind of shady, you know? Like you'd show up to the theater and they'd be like, system's down, dude, you can't get in today.
Well, I remember that happening to people. I don't remember that happening to me. I remember our co-host for the podcast, David, you and I were raving about it, and he was a late adopter,
Right.
and he finally bought in, and it never worked for him, I think.
Yeah. And then it shut down, I think, which was part of the reason it wasn't working for him.
I
So,
blame him because he waited too long. I looked it up. I saw 61 movies with in the theater that year.
wow, that's amazing. So if you couldn't tell, Casey is a lover of film. That was we had a group chat called Film Lovers Group FLG, and that's where Film Lovers Podcast came out of. And yeah, we had a 2-year run of just I would say that The Ringer ripped us off because we did Film Lovers Flashback before they ever did the rewatchables.
Was the big picture a thing yet?
I don't think so. I think we inspired Sean Fennessy to start the big picture.
Because the format is the same. Was there
Exact
any
same. Exact
was
same.
were there any other podcasts doing that at the time?
I don't know, man. As far as I can remember, no.
I want to say let's restart it, but now the big picture's doing it, so it wouldn't be
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah, they're doing it. And you know,
Gives you
David,
the
he's
credit.
David's impossible to schedule. So,
Do you think if we at Bill Simmons and Sean Fennessy on Twitter that they'll give us credit
hmm.
for the format? Like if we
Yep,
share some links on
yep,
Twitter, do you think they'll listen to them and then give us credit for the format
I do.
publicly?
I do. Yeah. Every time I've tweeted Sean Fennessy, he replies with a short essay. So, just kidding. No, I don't think they will, but it's okay. So Casey, one of the best segments on the Film Lovers podcast, which I still say to this day, is a segment that we called Discuss. So could we do a discuss together? Do you feel up for that?
Sure. Should you explain the premise a little bit? Or
No, I think people will get it. It's America's favorite segment. It's time for
Discuss.
MCU is back on track. Discuss.
oh. All right, maybe we should explain it. So Casey, I've told people that listen about you. You've been anecdoted. So if people have listened, they know about this. But for first-time listeners, Casey had a reputation of throwing out these hot takes about pop culture or politics or movies, and he'd go, discuss. And then we would all sit in stunned silence and then discuss it. Um, but would you add anything else to it?
Yeah, an opinionated person, but I also want to hear what other people think. Like I want to
Yes.
interact.
Yeah.
And so I would say the thing, and then I would awkwardly, instead of inviting discussion through a question, I would just say discuss.
And it was always never questions. It was always declarative statements followed by discuss. Um,
Just I'm just making myself feel better is what's happening there.
yeah.
But
Oh, wait. Let me start the timer. Now, wait. Okay. Let's discuss that and then I'll start the timer. So, the whole premise of this show, Casey, is that we review something for 1 hour, not a minute more, not a minute less. But I've been really bad about sticking to that. So, we'll try our best, though. All right. The MCU is back on track. I would say yes. 100 times yes. What would you say?
well, did you see Thunderbolts? What did you think of Thunderbolts?
Okay, caveat. I haven't seen Thunderbolts
What?
and I
We
haven't
can't discuss this then. You've
I,
seen one movie.
I haven't seen Ironheart. Here's what I have seen though. I've seen Daredevil Born Again and I've seen Captain America Red Hulk time.
Oh, I forgot about that one. So that
Cap,
is that the start of the new phase? I don't
Captain
keep track of the phases.
I think it's called Captain America and the Temple of Doom and then Indiana Jones becomes the Hulk somehow at the end. It's pretty cool. It's like a crossover event. It's awesome. So I think they're back though. I think people love Thunderbolts. I do plan on watching it once it's on D plus. People were warm about Ironheart, and as we'll get into it, I thought Fantastic Four was pun intended fantastic. Um, the Russo brothers are back. RDJ's back. Heartfelt storytelling's back. Family. The Human Torch is
Yep.
back.
Nice. Do you have plans to see Thunderbolts? Do you hope to
Yeah,
see it?
when it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
I think back on track is the right way to characterize it. The Captain America was not that great. It was pretty mediocre. Thunderbolts is when I realized I think it's back on track. Thunderbolts is not an amazing MCU movie, but it's very solid. Like I enjoyed the heck out of watching that movie.
Oh,
Florence
sweet.
Pugh is really great. Uh, I always love David Harbour in anything he's in.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like starting to get hopeful. And in my head, I was thinking if Fantastic Four First Steps is good, then they're officially back on track. And that's what I think has happened. I think they're back on track. My big question though is like, what is their ceiling? Um, what would you say are the best MCU movies, Russ?
Oh, easy. I like Endgame. Avengers Endgame is probably number one. And then I would go Thor Ragnarok number two. I really like Civil War. Civil War would be up there. Captain America, and then man, there's a bunch that I'm like are all tied in my head. You know, like all the origin stories, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Guardians. You know, those are all kind of tied for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'd put Thor Ragnarok up there. Endgame is up there, and Black Panther. Like to me, those are probably the best ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The question for me is, can they get back to that level? I don't know, but at least they're good again. I thought Doctor Strange, the multiverse movie, was terrible. Um, I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp, the more recent one, more than most people did. But
Did you like
I
Quantumania? Did you like Quantumania?
yeah, I think I liked it more than most people
Oh wow.
liked it. When I watched it, I was a little surprised at how down people were on it. But I agree that it had gotten off track. And then the Jonathan Majors scandal, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about like what that did to
Yeah. It
MCU.
just threw everything for a loop. But so
Yeah.
I I I felt like with Agatha all along and X-Men 97, it seemed like Marvel Studios was starting to get their groove back a little bit. Just with like good storytelling that wasn't boring. Because that was always my complaint with the MCU lately is that I felt bored during their movies. And I never want to feel bored during a superhero movie. But and Agatha all along was not boring. It was just well acted, well written, and then it just kept happening. So in 2025, they've released on TV the Spider-Man cartoon, which was great. If you haven't watched it, that's very much up your alley. I think you'd love it. And then
Okay.
Daredevil Born Again and Ironheart both were fairly well received. And then movies, Captain America, Thunderbolt, and we'll talk about Fantastic Four here. I feel like all three were pretty solid compared to Eternals and uh, the Marvels. you know,
What do you think of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
I don't even remember it if I'm being honest.
Oh, it's awful, Russ. It's don't rewatch it ever. Uh I'm behind on the TV shows. One of my all-time favorite comic books. My favorite comic books ever are the Frank Miller era of Batman and Daredevil.
yeah,
And so Daredevil Born Again is one of my all-time favorites. I'm so excited to I don't know how much that season mirrors the comics, but I'm so excited about it. I love the Daredevil TV show, even though what's the name of the actor who plays um Daredevil?
Charlie
Do
Cox.
you- Yeah, he's not that good of an actor.
Oh, you don't think
Um,
so?
I think he's kind of a bad actor, but it works. It works.
Interesting. See,
But I'm such a
I fell for him in Boardwalk Empire. He was like a character in that show, and he's great in that show. He gets to use his normal accent, which I think helps him to not have to do the American accent. But I
okay.
really like him. I'm surprised to hear you say he's not a good actor.
Yeah, the fight choreography is amazing in that show.
Yes. Yeah. You'll love Born Again. I thought it was great. A little gruesome at times, but so we don't have David here to be the foil to say I think the MCU is not on track. Um, so we're just going to be in agreement. Um, Good job, MCU. Good job, Kevin Feige. Way to go. Do you want to play
One
devil's
last thought.
advocate or?
No, no, I think it's back on track. I'm just wondering how big the ceiling is, like where the ceiling is. How good are they going to get? Can they get back to their former glory is my
Yeah,
question.
definitely.
But yeah, it's all about Kevin Feige, I think. Like if he's engaged, it's going to be better. If he's
Yeah,
not engaged, it's going to go off the rails.
yeah,
That's my take.
yeah. And the Russo brothers, I think having them back in the buildings helping out a lot. So,
One last thought about the Daredevil Born Again. So I'm so excited to watch it, but I'm a completist.
uh-huh.
So I just finished Iron Fist season 2, and then I realized that I totally missed Marvel Agents of Shield. So I'm like, all right, I need to start that. So I'm on
Oh
season 1
man.
of that. So it's gonna take me forever to get to Daredevil Born Again, but I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Well, I've abandoned my completism. I know you and I were of the same ilk. And what I do now is I just write a note of where I stopped, either in the movie or in the show. So like, because I used to be able to not finish a movie, but now that I have this little workaround, I just put like stopped watching at minute 45. So if I ever do want to go back and finish it, I can, but now I don't feel like I have to. You got to try it.
That's fun.
It's the best.
Okay. Trying to do that. I don't do it like the minute or the second, but I do have a doc where I keep track of what season am I on what show because it's just so hard to keep track.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, The Sandman on Netflix, I stopped at episode 7 of season 1 because it was just so bad. So bad.
I liked it.
You liked
I thought
it?
it was good. Yeah.
Oh, Casey. We got to do an episode on that show. All right. Well, that was.
Discuss.
All right, Casey, I'm going to start the timer now. You ready?
Okay.
All right, everyone. We are here to review the Fantastic Four First Steps. I was super excited about this movie. We're going to talk a little bit about our history with the Fantastic Four and with kind of just Marvel comics in general. We're not going to get into DC just for clarity's sake, but we're both DC fans. You probably more so than I am. But before that, you did ask the Odyssey teaser. You want to review the Odyssey teaser real quick?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to review teasers because they're so short and they don't give you much, but it's
Okay.
Christopher Nolan. I mean, that cast is incredible.
Out of
It's
10, out of 10 Matt Damons, what would you give it?
I don't know what to say. Like it's just Matt Damon floating on a raft is all it is. What would
So,
you get?
okay, I'm zagging here. I did not want Matt Damon's Odysseus, right?
Yeah.
Ah, I'm good on Matt Damon. I don't need another Matt Damon movie in my life.
What?
I like Matt Damon as even in Oppenheimer, I was a little bit like, Matt Damon, come on. Like Interstellar, he has that cameo. It's like, come on. I think I'm just a little Matt Damoned out, possibly. I would have rather it been like uh, I don't know. Christian Bale probably wouldn't have been right either, but just someone different. I'm not super excited about watching a Matt Damon movie. Casey left the podcast.
I apologize. I
He's
need to
so
plug in my
upset.
laptop. Uh, I'm gonna plug in my laptop real fast and I'm gonna respond to that. You can
Okay.
edit this, right?
I try not to edit it actually. It's kind of my shtick now.
Oh no, you should have warned me. Um, you know, I do think Matt Damon's I love Matt Damon. I think he's a national treasure. I will always be a fan after Good Will Hunting.
No,
He won
same,
me
same.
over.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
But
Love him.
I do think he's a weird casting choice for Odysseus, and I hadn't thought about who else it could be, but Christian Bale sounds great.
Yeah, so I just wasn't totally Matt Damon kind of took me out of it. But Christopher Nolan has so much equity. Like I'm just like I trust him. So
Oh yeah, I mean, Christopher Nolan making the Odyssey with this cast, I'm wondering, is this going to be one of the best movies ever made? That's where I'm at with it right now. That's how,
Wow. Maybe.
because who's a better epic commercial epic filmmaker than Christopher Nolan right now, except for maybe Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
But I mean, Christopher Nolan is a filmmaker for the ages,
Right.
and he is capable, especially at this point in his career, of making one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what stories are more epic and more powerful and iconic than the Odyssey? Like, I don't know what other story is better set up to make a great epic film. I'm
Yeah.
surprised it hasn't been done more. And it's in I, the only other director in whose hands who might be just as good at it as him would be Denis Villeneuve. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think there's anybody else that would be as good at it. Like
Yeah.
Scorsese, the
Mm.
Coen brothers, I think they are peers. But like a straightforward epic like this, like, it's not their thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what they did with because isn't Oh Brother, Where Art Thou about the Odyssey?
Yeah.
So they, I mean,
That's
they're
more their way of doing it, right? Like
yeah,
sideways or
quirky
weird.
and silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Spielberg, like 20 years ago, could have done a great job with it.
Yeah. Spielberg in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, or even
But
like in
even
the Lincoln era, I feel like he could have pulled something off.
that's true. I love Lincoln. But even Spielberg's most classic epics like Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, they're great, but they're not flawless.
Hmm.
And I think Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, that they are capable of making like flawless movies, I think.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, Spielberg wasn't always the best at expansive scenes. He's more of a close up director, where I feel like Nolan and all of Spielberg, even like Saving Private Ryan, like it's a very close up war movie. Whereas I feel like Dunkirk, you're kind of it's close and far. You kind of get that back and
Yeah.
forth that I think the Odyssey will benefit from having that kind of. It's such a big movie. You kind of need to be able to handle bigness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will say that D-Day, the Normandy invasion, is one of the most amazing cinematic accomplishments in history. I
Incredible,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's very tight. It's a very tightly filmed sequence. Like you're right in there in the trenches with them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Claustrophobic. Okay, so I'm giving how many Matt Damons are you giving the teaser out of 10?
I'm gonna give it six Matt Damons, but 10 Christopher Nolans. I
Okay.
don't know. I
I
don't know how
just I
to
just
rate it.
watched I just watched The Departed where Leo and Matt Damon have their scene together this morning. It was on Twitter. Um, did you know that's the only movie they've ever been in together?
Matt Damon and who?
Leo D.
That is kind of shocking,
Isn't that
I
crazy?
think.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it four Matt Damons and one Leonardo DiCaprio. So out of 10.
Wait, is Leo in this?
No, he's in The Departed with Matt
I
Damon.
know, I know. My bad. I okay. He's not, but he's not in the Odyssey though.
No, I mean maybe I'll have a cool cameo.
He should be.
I would love to see a. Oh, they have done a movie together. I'm so dumb. Inception. Maybe Leo D will be in it. Who knows?
I haven't looked at the cast in a while. I can't remember.
I would love to do a Leonardo DiCaprio episode of Rust Reviews, but we'll see. All right, let's get to the movie we're trying to talk about. So I'm in the AMC. I've watched 45 minutes of trailers and commercials, literal commercials for Indeed. That was crazy. And then the movie starts. Oh my gosh. They don't have the fanfare. They don't have the bum 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 ba da ba da da. The like the classic what I'm talking about, the red like classic thing where it flips through the comics and then says Marvel Studios. It was like a
Oh
new.
yeah, that didn't occur to me.
So right off the bat, I was like, oh, things are changing, things are different. And then did you catch this? Right off the bat, first scene, it says Earth 828.
Yeah,
And
totally.
I had to figure out how to pull my phone out without anyone looking at me and Google Earth 828. Because I was like, what the heck? What universe was the rest of these movies set on? So that's my first question for you. With the Fantastic Four first steps, we don't really need to get into a synopsis. I think most people can figure that out on their own. But um, what did you think of that?
I think it's legit. I think it's a classic comic book thing in both Marvel and DC is having multiple dimensions and multiple Earths.
Yeah,
One of the best comics ever made is Crisis on Infinite Earths,
right,
because DC had so many universes that they had to simplify it, and so they
right.
created this amazing story to simplify it. So I think it's a very classic comic book move, which makes it a valid comic book movie thing to do, in my opinion.
Okay, okay. So it didn't feel like a cop out to you? Because that's immediately where I went. Ah, they're copping out.
I don't think so, but I think this is the direction that MCU's been going for a while, is this whole like multiverse idea. So maybe they've been prepping me for it and I was expecting it, and so it didn't surprise me. But also because of my background in comics, um, I didn't think twice about it, to be honest.
Okay,
Actually, I thought it was kind of clever and helpful because they needed to do something different with the Fantastic Four movie franchises than the previous ones because they were such failures. And so to do it in a dimension, to do it in another dimension, it allowed them to do aesthetically and design wise, like to play with history. Because if it's in this dimension, it would make no sense to do the retro futuristic thing they did.
right.
And so it enabled them to do this thing that made it cool and unique.
Yeah. I think where I got tripped up though is that the Fantastic Four have such a rich history with both the X-Men and the Avengers and Spider-Man. And I'm just not sure how they're gonna intertwine Earth 828 with the Earth of the MCU before. I'll look up the number, but what do you make of that? Like, how are they gonna fit the retro with the like Russo brothers dark aesthetic? You know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because are you the Russo brothers, fill me in, did they didn't do Thunderbolts, but they're gonna do the Avengers coming up. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, the Dooms Avengers Doomsday,
They're gonna do that. Okay.
and we even
Um,
Doomsday got spoiler alert. This is a spoiler podcast, just FYI. So, you
all right,
know,
that's good for me to know and listeners.
yes, yeah, I'll put that in the show notes as well. Um, you know, Doctor Doom is right there at the end in the like post credit scene. Um, all right, so the movies up until now were taking place in Earth 616 or Earth 1999999, depending on your. So in the movies, it's referred to as Earth 616. In the larger comic multiverse, it's referred to as Earth 1999999. So,
So
um,
Russ, in order, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, oh boy, we're getting nerdy here.
Yeah. In order to have this conversation, though, I need to say something about Thunderbolts, that like the end credits thing.
I already know about it. I
Um,
already know about it. Don't worry.
all right. So, this at the end of Thunderbolts, they show a Fantastic Four spaceship flying,
Right.
and the insinuation is that they're going to tie Thunderbolts into the Fantastic Four. I guess I don't know. I just assumed Thunderbolts was in our universe. I hadn't thought of that deeply about it, and so maybe there's some kind of cross-dimensional storyline that's going to happen in the future. What movie? I'm trying to remember. I saw a comic book movie recently where at the end a character is unconscious. Maybe it was the Marvels, the with all the with Miss Marvel and Captain
Hmm.
Marvel, where the main character wakes up in a lab being treated by the Beast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the end of the Marvels. Yeah.
Okay. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but at the time I interpreted that as she ended up in a different dimension.
Right. Well, and that's where I think it could get be less of an issue for me is I hope X-Men is set in Earth 828. And then because just the notion of the Fantastic Four being the only mutant types like doesn't make a ton of sense for me for some reason, but if and just knowing how like tied in Franklin Richards is with the X-Men, like it would just feel like more synergistic for me if the X-Men are also going to be kind of worked into Earth 828 moving forward.
Yeah, so you are you wondering if they're going to merge the realities in some
Well,
way?
they must, right? They're going to have to. I'm more curious about like how they're going to do it, probably.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's an if. I think it's a how at this point. I'd be shocked if they didn't merge them, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's another question. This goes back to the discussed topic is I've heard some people talk about there's only like two more movies in this phase. Is that
Yep.
right? Spider-Man
Yep.
and then Avengers Doomsday. Um, so they kind of have to do a lot of work to tie all this together and wrap it up in two
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. And I'll be curious what the TV shows do, if anything, because yeah, Spider-Man's going to be put into a bit of a pickle, of having to like, you don't want it to just become a plot movie, you know, where it's just like churning out details, but it's kind of being positioned to do that. And then I do think the overall, there was a Avengers Secret Wars was what it used to be called. I don't know if they're going to call it that still, but I think Doomsday is like Endgame, and then there's going to be another Avengers not too long after that. Um, but no, you're right. They're really things are going to get pinched. It could seem, and then what's going to happen with the X-Men? You know?
Yeah, I think you do a better job of tracking the business, like how the business side works with the story. Like I don't keep track of the phases and I don't really know what movies are coming out in the next 5 years or whatever. So
Right. Well, and it's changed. It's changed. Like they've canceled so many projects, and like the Blade movie is just living in Hollywood purgatory. You know, things like that. So I don't know what they even have outlined, but you're right. Like all that's on the schedule is Spider-Man Brand New Day and Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday, and it's like, okay, good luck. Like
yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna do it, unless Doomsday is like about Doomsday, you know, about Doctor Doom. Maybe that's like his movie, you know, in the way that um, Avengers Infinity War was kind of Thanos' movie. You know, maybe Doomsday will be Victor Von Doom's movie.
Yeah.
So maybe it won't be a culminating movie, but like a more of a inner. I don't know the word I'm thinking of, but let's go back though. We skipped this. I was curious. What's your because I was super excited about this movie because I have a pretty like deep history with the Fantastic Four. But what was your history with the Fantastic Four kind of going into it? And you had I want people to know this. You took it upon yourself to rewatch the Jessica Alba ones and the Michael B. Jordan ones. Um,
Russ, I watched five movies to prepare for this episode.
Wait, what
Uh,
was
be,
number five?
well, I mean, if you count First Steps, because I watched the original two with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Evans was an excellent Johnny Storm, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you watch the old movies?
Oh yeah, yeah, in theaters. Yeah,
Chris Evans, okay, Chris Evans is a way better. I think what's his name? Joseph Quinn.
yeah.
I think Joseph Quinn might be a great actor. but Chris Evans is a way better Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Chris Joseph Quinn has too much gravitas for the role.
Hmm.
And Chris Evans is like an extremely competent. I've never seen him do anything poorly. Everything he does
Hmm.
is good. But he was an excellent Johnny Storm. He was perfectly cast for Johnny Storm. But so yeah, I watched the first two Fantastic Four, the reboot with Kate Mara and Miles Teller, and then I watched Doomed, Roger Corman's The Fantastic Four, and then I watched Fantastic Four First Steps.
Wait, what's Doomed? I haven't heard of that one.
Oh man, you ignored my text message, you jerk.
Sorry.
Um, it's a documentary on Prime. So in the early 1990s, you know who Roger Corman is?
No.
Okay, he's a really famous B movie director. He mentored a bunch of great directors, including Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
because Francis Ford Coppola got his start in like B movies and
Yeah.
like soft core porn movies and
Okay.
stuff. And um, uh, yeah, we should look it up. But he mentored a bunch of like future great directors. I think Brian De Palma is another one.
Oh, wow.
But but he only made cheap B movies, but he got pretty famous and was really successful at it.
Okay.
So in 1992, they were budgeted $1 million to make the Fantastic Four, and they made the movie, and everyone who was involved thought that this was going to be a big break for them. I need Russ. Do you remember the days before the Bryan Singer X-Men movies? I vividly remember growing up a comic book fan and just dreaming of seeing these characters in movies. But all the previous examples were like cheesy and bad. I
Yeah.
wanted like a high quality. I wanted to see these characters on screen. And this attempt by Roger Corman was like the first attempt at it. It looks terrible
Hmm.
today. And it was probably objectively terrible at the time because they only had $1 million to work with. But they made this movie, but they never released it.
Mm.
And the reason they didn't release it is because it was basically Marvel made the movie. It was like I don't I think I don't remember the history of who had the rights to it, but it was essentially like they made the movie in order for some company to keep the rights so that they could make a high budget version later on, which ended up being the one with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans.
Okay. Got it.
Um, but it was pretty scandalous for all the people involved. Like all the actors, like thought it was going to be released. They played trailers in theaters before movies. Like everybody thought it was going to be released, but it wasn't. And it was kind
Yeah.
of a
No, that makes a lot of sense because just like you could do a whole story, like a whole, you know, 8-part documentary on Marvel's mishandling of its IP and just like it's
mm,
so crazy who owns what and which characters can be displayed or in movies or like with the Fantastic Four. I grew up with them collecting the comic books, so I started collecting them in like late '97 when I was 10 years old because they restarted the numbering. They went from whatever 400 something to one, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can have a number one. So I bought it, and then it just kind of turned into a whole odyssey for me of I don't know. I just liked, I think it was like a coping mechanism maybe for my parents' divorce because it was like they were just a family. They were all together. They loved each other. Like they had their hijinks and things like that. But um, yeah, so I always collected it. And then, once I got to high school, I was like, I'm too cool for comics. So I stopped. But I have this vivid memory of the comics stopping. Like they stopped making Fantastic Four for a season. And the reason why is because it was when Marvel was starting to create Marvel Studios and they couldn't get the rights back from 20th Century Fox. So they were just like, well, they were just kind of sticking it to them. Like, well, we're just not going to have the comic anymore then.
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you're like, I'm trying to collect again. So there's like this gap between 2015 to 2018 where there's just no Fantastic Four comics. That's a pretty long time, you know? And all of it was just because of insider dealings and IP and finally, like after many, many years, like Disney finally bought out 20th Century Fox, and that's what's paved the way for Fantastic Four to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. But did you know, like the Hulk? There's no Hulk rides in Disney World, even though Disney owns Marvel. There's no Hulk rides because the Hulk is owned by Universal Studios.
I had no idea. I
Yeah,
just so is there some kind of deal? So MCU kind of like they did with Spider-Man?
yeah. It was something like California, east of the Mississippi, Disney parks can't use the Hulk, something like that. So something crazy
Okay,
like that. Someone
that's
can
weird.
fact check me on that, but that was Marvel. They were just selling. They sold Spider-Man to Sony. They sold X-Men and Fantastic Four to Fox. They kept Iron Man for themselves and the Avengers. Like it just always has been chaotic, and the Doom documentary just seems to be an even earlier example of them not knowing what to do with this very valuable intellectual property.
Yeah,
But all that to
yeah.
say, like, I think I'm curious. I wanted to ask you, having watched all these, like, why do you think they struggled so long to figure out how to make a Fantastic Four movie? Because this is like this comic was the first, like, after Captain America, this is kind of the first family of Marvel, you know. It goes Captain America and then the Fantastic Four in the creation order. They've always been very popular. They've always been, a top-selling comic book, but they just never were able to figure out how to make a movie. And having just watched them, what's your read on that?
I think it's a couple things. I think one of the things is I think there's an inherent cheesiness to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think we've been living through a period of time where gritty superhero movies are popular. Especially like especially like the Christopher Nolan Batman. I think we're living through a cynical age. And so
Well, yeah, and then
MC
Zack Snyder kind of did a bastardized
yeah,
version of that.
don't get me started on Zack Snyder. I cannot. I've never seen a Zack Snyder movie I like. I think he's terrible. DC made a terrible decision hitching their wagon to him.
You didn't like the Watchmen?
The what?
The Watchmen?
To be honest, I've only seen a couple of his movies. I've seen 300, and then I saw his remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
Um, and neither are good.
No, he's
Um,
bad. He's objectively pretty bad.
yeah.
I agree.
So in the
But
MCU
he added
movies,
to that, like all the costumes being dark and filming it dark and everything being dark and intense.
yeah, yeah. And then MCU isn't dark and gritty, but there is something kind of cool about it. I mean, it's spectacular for sure, but it's like a Joss Whedon kind of cool where
Yeah.
it's it's not dark and gritty, but it's funny and quippy and so I just think Fantastic Four is maybe a little too earnest, and so it's
Yeah.
hard. I think, and then I think the other thing is what you described. It was owned by the wrong company. So far, Disney, MCU, they're the only ones that have really known how to make comic book movies. There's been a few exceptions, like Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. So I think it's the two things, the cheesiness piece, and then just the Sony and Fox and 20th century, yeah, all that. Like they don't know how to make comic book movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Fox, especially, like, they got lucky a few times with, I think when they got out of the way, like Logan is great. Days of Future Past is great. X-Men First Class is great. But, like,
That's
there's
true.
more bad than good, the first Daredevil is very bad. Elektra, like, there's some duds in there. I would have loved to have seen Sam Raimi have his hand with the Fantastic Four. Like, what kind of universe would that have been if Sam Raimi did them instead of Spider-Man right off the bat? Because I feel like he could have maybe handled the tonal kind of balance you need of like funny, but also very like, family oriented and sincere. Because so Spider-Man, I think, is similar to the Fantastic Four, is that at its core, it is about a family, him and his Aunt May, and then the like extended family that they adopt into it. But yeah, what I remember from the movies is that they just did not get any of the characters right except for Johnny Storm.
Yeah, I thought the guy who played the original Reed Richards was okay. Jessica Alba was terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a beautiful woman, but she cannot act.
Yeah, and Michael Chiklis, like, I don't know, felt like he was.
He's a good actor. That was good casting.
You liked it?
Yeah, I mean, 2005. Who else are you going to cast as the Thing other than Michael Chiklis? Nobody.
Yeah, I
That was
guess
good
that's fair.
casting.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the 2015 Fantastic Four, um, that cast was phenomenal. Miles Teller, I love Miles Teller. I
No, yeah, it's like,
kind of like,
yeah, four great actors.
yeah, like kind of like what I said about Matt Damon after Whiplash. I'll forever love Miles Teller because of Whiplash.
Oh,
And then
Miles
Kate
Teller
Mara is
would have been
great.
he would have been a good Odysseus.
Yeah, he's too young though, because Odysseus is journeying for he's already has a kid and he's a
Oh,
commander
yeah.
of armies, and then he's like journeying for 20 years. So he's got to be middle
Ooh, I
aged.
got it. I got it. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he'd be great.
He
Pedro
hasn't he
Pascal.
hasn't been in enough movies, I think. We need
Yeah,
him.
we're not. Yeah,
We need
somebody
more
needs to give
Pedro.
him a role. He needs some work, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Um,
Because I feel like the
but
elevator pitch for that one was, okay, guys, what if we do Fantastic Four, but Christopher Nolan directed it? So we're just going to make it real dark and gritty and serious and not funny at all.
yeah, but so the first 40 minutes was great because that cast is great. But then once they started to try to do the superhero fantasy stuff, it just went off the rails. It was terrible after that.
I felt like it wasn't funny either. Like the thing about the Fantastic Four is they're like, they're funny. They're funny. They're always making fun of each other. They're always teasing each other. And a lot of the times, like they're making fun of Reed Richards, like the egghead nerd scientist. Um, so let's kind of segue to the new movie because I think this is where I was pretty pleased with the casting. And we can kind of discuss this, but I felt like Reed Richards was portrayed perfectly by Pedro Pascal. And I went into it kind of nervous because people have just been dunking on him because I think he's been in too many movies. So people just have like Pascal fatigue, but I think he's a phenomenal actor. But I felt like he captured the fact that Reed Richards is in a lot of ways an introvert. That's really only extroverted with Sue and sometimes his two buddies. And I love that. They didn't force him into being this something that he wasn't, which I felt like Miles and the other actor didn't totally capture the like there's a superhero that's an introvert. What? Like that's crazy. Like there's never superheroes that are that, you know, scientifically minded.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good point. I think he did a great job. Yeah, when I heard the cast, I was kind of annoyed because Pedro Pascal, he usually plays like tough anti-heroes,
Hmm.
and so it's hard for me to imagine him playing Reed Richards, but also the way he looks. He's got a grittier, rougher look to him,
Right.
and Reed Richards doesn't look that way. And so that was hard, but he's always great, and I thought he did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I did too.
Um,
Yeah.
and then, but sorry, losing my train of thought here. Uh, Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn, I was annoyed because it didn't really I couldn't see Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and maybe they cast him because of his role in Stranger Things.
I think so.
It's a little Johnny Storm-esque. And then Vanessa Kirby, she doesn't really look like Susan Storm. And I kind of get annoyed when British actors are cast in American roles. Um, and you could just as easily, there are actors out there that are just as good. Vanessa Kirby's a really good actor. Joseph Quinn is too, and Joseph Quinn might be a great actor. But I think there's American actors that are just as good and maybe more charismatic that could
Hmm.
have played the roles. So that was a little baffling to me, although I think they both did a good job. Um,
No,
and
wait,
then,
hold on a second though, because I feel like I've heard this about Vanessa Kirby a lot that she doesn't look like Sue Richards. Um, my opinion is that Sue Richards doesn't. She's depending on the artists of that, the various comic book runs. Like she looks pretty different in every kind of iteration. Like depending on who's drawing her, they're all going to make her look a little different. And I don't feel like Jessica Alba looked like a Susan Richards, Susan Storm, and Kate Mara. I don't think so either. But what I liked about Vanessa and Pedro is it seemed like they had chemistry, which I felt like the other movies you never got that chemistry. And that's something that's really nice about the comic books is that Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic, they're very much in love and loyal and um, like just together. Like no matter what, like no matter how many times Doctor Doom's going to try to marry her, like they're always going to be together. Mole Man's trying to steal her away, like Namor or whatever. Like it's that classic Mario Peach thing. Um, so I feel like any woman with blonde hair could play Invisible Woman. Um, and I really liked Vanessa Kirby's because I've been a big fan of her since the Mission Impossible movies, and I just think like I think she has that ability to like convey things with her face and without dialogue, and I think that was important for this role. But more so than that, it seemed like her and Pedro enjoyed acting together, and I didn't notice that in the other movies.
yeah, yeah, I thought she did a good job. I had I felt better about the casting after seeing the movie. I was just more baffled when I heard about it. And then Evan Moss Backrack is great in The
Yeah,
Punisher,
yeah,
and then he's incredible in The Bear. He's
yeah.
definitely one of the best actors in The Bear.
He's in
Um,
Andor as well.
oh, is he?
Yeah, season one.
Okay, okay. Yeah, he's great. So
Yeah.
he made sense to me, but
You know where he got his
um,
break?
where?
Girls. Lena Dunham.
Oh, I never watched that.
Oh, well, you should. It broke a lot of very famous actors. Not Lena Dunham, though. She has yet to have the same success as her co-stars.
Well, she's more of a filmmaker, I would say. She's more of a creator, I think.
I think she fancies herself an actor too. So,
Adam, Adam
okay.
Driver came up in Girls, right?
Yeah, Adam Driver, Brian Williams' daughter, Allison Williams, and then Eben. Those are kind of the big three that got super famous. But okay, let's talk about Johnny though. I think, and this is weird to negotiate because the thing about Johnny is that there's a part of him that is a womanizer, but he's also like deeply romantic. And I felt like all they focused on was him being a romantic without the womanizing part. Because I think the thing that was interesting was that Silver Surfer caught his interest, and they didn't really there was no payoff for that because you didn't have him established as a flavor of the week guy. They like totally skipped over that.
Yeah.
And I was just curious, like, why did you notice that, and what was your thought on them doing that?
Yeah, I thought that was confusing too, especially after watching the original Fantastic Four movies and the way that Chris Evans played it, because he was Johnny Storm in the original movies was a risk taker. I mean, he's like skydiving and skiing and driving sports cars and like you said, a womanizing. Um, and you don't really get that vibe at all from
Yeah, he's like a
uh
James Bond type, like the old James Bond,
yeah,
but on
but like
fire.
younger and more brash and maybe more of like a frat guy kind of person.
More combustible, maybe.
But I think Joseph Quinn, I almost feel like he's got too much gravitas for the role. Like he should be
You
something
know what else
else.
bothered me? Johnny Storm has no business translating languages. I was like, come on, people. Johnny Storm would never lock himself in a room and figure out a native tongue. You know, like that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was a little weird. And I was trying to figure out, is it the performance? Is it the writing? Is it the directing? Is it the all the above? I don't know.
I think it was the it seemed like the writers didn't know what to do with them. I think they might have just felt uncomfortable, maybe, like with Johnny's like aura. And maybe
Like toxic masculinity.
yeah, yeah, because I think that's what the older movies kind of, you know, because there's old clips on Twitter that I've seen and stuff like they were just a little more open about that. But even in the comics, like he's always looking for love and can't find it, you know? And I think that's all they needed to do was establish a few scenes where he was dating or like looking for love or something so that his connection with the Silver Surfer would have felt all the more romantic, you know?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah,
they allude to it, they verbally talk about it, but it's never really shown.
and I would say that none of the previous movies do a good job with that angle. I mean, Chris Evans is a womanizer, but they don't dig very deep. And then Michael B. Jordan, he's got that cockiness in that movie, but there's no deeper, in, investigation into his personality. There's no love interest. There's no sense of a desire for connection or relationship. Like, so
Right.
I don't think any of them have done that.
Okay. But it sounds like we'd both say the casting was pretty good. How many how many Mike out of 10 Michael Chiklises, how many would you give out of 10?
I give it an 8. I think the problem with Joseph Quinn is he doesn't look like Johnny Storm too.
Mm-mm.
He kind of
He
just looks
doesn't.
off, doesn't he?
Yeah, too short. Not like traditionally handsome enough.
I know you disagree with me, but like, don't those two look too British maybe to play these roles?
I think you got some anti-British sentiment. Have you been like celebrating the 4th of July recently or something?
It's just annoying to me. I just think I get it if you want to Olivia Colman, Idris Elba, Benedict Cumberbatch, Cillian Murphy, like
He's
you need
Irish.
them for okay, but still, you need them for particular roles.
Right.
I know she's Australian, but Kate Blanchett, you need her for particular roles. Those two actors, they're great, but I just feel like
Look,
you could have picked somebody else.
it's our own fault as a country because England and Great Britain are still holding acting as like a fine art. You know, like their acting schools have rigor and you know, you cut your teeth on Shakespeare. In America, where do you come up nowadays? You come up through the Disney Channel. Like all of our famous people are from the Disney Channel in a lot of ways. And
Hmm.
like what's the great acting school of the United States?
Juilliard,
No, what who's come out of Juilliard in the past 20 years?
um,
Nobody.
NYU,
I
NYU.
maybe. But I think the reason British actors keep getting cast is just because they're great at acting. And American actors aren't, you know.
I do think, I mean, I could think of exceptions like, Meryl Streep.
No.
You're
I'm
right though,
talking
like,
like young, like in their 20s, 30s.
yeah. What about Jennifer Lawrence?
Kind of, I don't know. I feel like she's a little washed.
Okay, but anyways, I hear what you're saying.
And
Ryan Gosling came
she's
up.
Mystique, so she couldn't have been Invisible Woman. So
Yeah. So, but I agree with you. The best actors in the world are mostly British. There's a
right.
few American or Australian exceptions, but
I really think it's just because of the schooling. Like I think um, America, the American acting academic world, I think is just has lost it's unmoored right now. I would say they're like isn't a bastion of this is where you go if you want to be a great actor in America.
a movie you should see if you want to see like a bunch of great up and coming actors is Warfare. Have you heard of it?
Oh, that's the Alex Garland one?
It's phenomenal. It's one of the best movies of the year so far.
Bro, that's a ton of English people.
Oh yeah.
Joseph Quinn's in this movie. What are you talking about?
And then what's his name from The Bear?
Yeah, Will
The
Poulter, aka the
is he
Beast.
British?
Yeah.
Is he British?
Oh, super British. Come on.
Oh, okay. And then did you see May December? Um,
No, I didn't.
okay, the husband in May December
Oh,
is
that's
in it
right.
too, but
Will Poulter was in the Chronicles of Narnia.
no, you need to watch Warfare. If you're up for like a stressful war movie, it's incredible.
No,
It's one
yeah,
of the best ones.
it's on my list. I loved Civil War, so it kind of felt like a spiritual sequel to that. So,
Yeah.
um,
And the cool thing about that movie is he directed it with a guy who was in that situation,
yeah,
who lived through it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. No, it's crazy.
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna give the cast 9 out of 10 Michael Chiklises. I thought it was great.
So you like it a little bit more than me.
I do. My only complaint was Johnny Storm. I thought he didn't totally nail it, and I did not believe that he would have the mental acumen to decipher the language of the Silver Surfers. So
I'm calling BS. I think you're just attracted to Vanessa Kirby, and that's all that's happening right now.
whatever. She's great in Mission Impossible. All right. Do you want to talk about the story or the CGI?
CGI.
All right. What's the deal?
It wasn't good, was it?
It
I
was.
mean,
What
it was better than
happened?
all the previous movies, but that's not saying much. Like you expect more from MCU, right?
Yeah. Cause like I don't know where you want to start. You had mentioned the thing, so we could talk about him, but uh
I do think it's really hard. I will give them this. I think it's really hard to do CGI for the Fantastic Four. It might be harder than anything else
mhm,
because of the Thing and the Human Torch.
yeah. But
Discuss.
I thought Invisible Woman and Human Torch and even Mr. Fantastic's like his he didn't get a ton of stretching, but I felt like the stuff he did get was pretty cool. My main issue was with the baby because like that movie centered around like the birth of that baby was a very key moment of that movie. And when that little critter comes out, which that whole birth scene was nuts, by the way. That's another podcast, but the baby comes out. It's just like this creepy looking CGI thing for a couple minutes, and then it switches to a human baby at some point. It's just like the actual kid was cute, but the CGI baby was not cute. Discuss.
I didn't notice, but when I listened to the big picture, they talked about how the baby didn't cry, which I think in a normal movie that would make sense. But as the movie progresses, you find out that the baby's like the super powerful thing. So there might be there might be something going on there that kept it, it might be a more serene baby or something.
Well, he was also in space, and as Ridley Scott would tell you, no one can hear you scream in space. So could be that too. But
But they were in a spaceship and they were all talking
no,
and
I know, I was kidding. That whole birth scene was just so insane. Having been in the room for one now, it's just like that was pretty crazy. Also, I felt like the thing cut the umbilical cord a little too quick for my comfort. You're supposed to let the umbilical cord stay attached for, 10, 15 minutes. But I was just like, Franklin Richards, like, he's one of my favorite characters in all of Marvel. And I just felt like his reveal was kind of botched. That said, though, how he saves the day at the end, I thought was some of the most like emotional Marvel cinema I've seen in several, like in a long time. Like I teared up during that part when he brings his mom back to life.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. That's a really powerful moment.
But so yeah, what we could get into that a little bit more detail. But what was the CGI that bothered you the most?
I think the thing looks pretty bad. Um, it
The
looks
thing with a
fake.
beard looked worse, potentially.
Oh, that was stupid.
Yeah.
And I mean, you couldn't tell it was Eben Moss Backrack. I think in the previous movies, it was more melded into the actor's face, and you could see more of the actor in it. This one, you couldn't tell it. It could have been anybody,
Hmm. Yeah.
behind that, and it just didn't look good to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. He just feels like an impossible character to do in realism. Like he looks great in the comics. He looks great as a cartoon, but it's just really hard to like put him in the third dimension.
But we do the Hulk well. Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, but some people complained about the Hulk CGI, as well. Like
Yeah.
I thought Hulk looked great in Ragnarok. That Hulk was awesome.
Yeah, it's been so long, but I think the Mark Ruffalo Hulk always looked good to me, I think. I never
Yeah.
had any complaints.
Yeah. Well, you're not a complainer like most of the people on Reddit, Marvel Reddit. They're just looking to complain. So,
Nerds are so annoying. I mean, I am a nerd, but you know what I mean? Like the
yes.
level of criticism about Star Wars and Marvel is super annoying.
How you need to say the sentence is we are annoying.
Yeah, but
we
I don't
we
think we're
nerds, we are annoying.
no, I'm a nerd too, but I don't know if I take it as seriously as a lot of people do. I think it's the same way as you. Like we take it seriously, but we can have fun with it. I think our critiques are maybe more reasonable, but
Yeah, and it's not. I think for us, it's not a religion. It's not. It's not filling that. It's not serving that purpose. But I think sometimes for people, these myths do fill some of that space for them, and I think that's where a lot of the passion comes from. Is just they need it to serve that deeper layer of meaning for them. So when it doesn't fit what they want, it can really rile them up. Stuff like that.
I think a good litmus test is how people respond to The Last Jedi.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I knew it just
I
based
don't
off the.
remember what your take was though. I don't remember where do you land on that?
Oh, are you for real? I thought you were trolling me.
No, oh, so okay, you're one of those guys, huh?
I hate. Well, we have a. I'll link to the podcast in the episode. How about that? I hated
That was a
it.
great era. That was a great era for movies, man.
Yeah. Remember, like that was the whole. We had like a pretty big argument about. I hated it. David loved it, and you were like trying to make peace between us. I think.
Oh, really? I like it. I like it a lot.
I do like it more. I still will go to my grave saying that the casino scene was so stupid and not necessary.
I can see that. That makes sense.
Like
Um,
the whole Rose storyline was just a waste of my time.
yeah, I can see that. What was the last one? The Rise of Skywalker. Is that the last
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
That one sucked. That one was
And I need to
terrible.
rewatch it. I don't
That was
know. I
terrible.
feel like I blacked out when I watched it because I was just so like nervous.
Did Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, did they kiss? Yes, they did, didn't they? And
Spoiler,
it's
yes.
and it's like you're literally kissing Hitler. I mean, he's a sexy Hitler,
No, but
but
he repents.
still,
No, I know
Uh,
it's
I think it takes a
complicated.
little bit more work to redeem yourself from killing millions and millions or billions of people,
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. No one was smooching Darth Vader. Oh man. Hey, we're not here to talk about Star Wars. We're here to talk about the Fantastic Four first steps.
Darth Vader in the costume, though, like, that's sexy.
Stop. Oh, Natalie Portman. She would make a good Invisible Woman.
She's not blonde, man. She's like dark skin, dark hair.
Dye her hair. It's fine. All right. All right. Let's talk about the story before we run out of time. Uh,
Okay.
what did you think? So I was very apprehensive about this movie because it was getting like a lot of hate, pre-hate. Like people hadn't even seen it and they were hating on it. So I was like, oh, this movie's going to be bad. I saw it on Thursday because I just wanted to get it over with. So um, I loved it. I absolutely loved the story. What did you think of it? Because I don't know if I actually loved it or if I was just like so relieved that it wasn't bad that I'm like looking at it with rose-colored glasses. But was it a good story?
I think
Discuss.
so. You know, I tend to turn my brain off and just let these movies wash over me.
Okay.
I mean, we will get into some nitpicks, some things that I thought were dumb.
Let's do that
But
now
even
because
when I
we only have 4 minutes left.
oh no,
Yeah.
say the nitpicks now.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Okay.
they're mainly about the story.
I mean, I love the Silver Surfer. I love the Galactus. Like I enjoyed the story overall. But moving Earth is just preposterous. It's just the dumbest thing. Uh Reed Richards is smart, but he's not God.
Yeah,
Like if he would have moved, I mean, it would have been hilarious if he would have succeeded in that plan and then everybody died, including the Fantastic Four, and it was over. Because that's what would happen if you try to move Earth is every every living thing on Earth would die.
right.
Uh so that
Well,
was it's like the equivalent of Superman flying really fast the opposite way around the world and reversing time. Everybody would have died in that situation too. That was stupid.
that was awesome. I still think about how cool that was as an adult. But the thing that bothered me about that plot point was how quickly the world galvanized and was like functionally together as a planet. I was like, this would never happen. And there was even a line like, for the first time in world's history, we've allocated all of our resources equally and spread them around the world, and we've all built this thing together in 2 weeks. Like, I was like, people, this would never, ever happen. Like, people would be disagreeing over what to build. And even the whole, like, they were the control center thing, I was just like, come on, people. Like, they speak English. Like, how are they translating all these things? So science aside, I believed in the science. I feel like that part made sense to me. I could not imagine sociopolitically the world agreeing and having that much harmony to get the things built in the first place.
Wait a second. You think the science of moving Earth to another location makes sense?
Yeah, why not? Sounded like a great idea. When I was watching, I was not hung up on that. I was hung up on you're telling me all these countries are agreeing to a plan? Like, come on, that would never happen.
Well, I mean, if it's mutually assured destruction, like either the Earth dies or you agree on a plan, you think we would just die because we couldn't get it together.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because Reddit. Have you ever been on Reddit?
A little bit. It's just too much reading, so not
Yeah.
that much.
Have you been on Twitter? Can you imagine the tweets? It would be insanity, man. All right, but that aside, I did enjoy like I did enjoy it as a movie experience. So like even the nits I was able to look past because I just felt like it for me that team really centers around Reed and Sue, like them making sense and just the whole story of them getting pregnant, being pregnant and then having a kid. I just thought was like pretty well done and pretty effective. And I really loved when Franklin saved her life. Like that was just such a cool way to show his insane mutant abilities, even as an infant. But then also too, just like got back to that theme of like Fantastic Four. They're the first family of Marvel. Like um, in a Ringer article, one of the quotes from it was that the thing that sets them apart is that they're a family, not a team. And I felt like this movie was the first one to capture that like family dynamic, and this the story and the plot like kind of served that in good ways to me.
I agree. I hadn't thought about it that much. I think I take the family dynamic for granted when it comes to the Fantastic Four, but now that you say that, I think they did a tremendous job building that family dynamic, like the family dinners and Thing and Johnny Storm bickering back and forth, and
Hmm.
Reed and Sue realizing they're pregnant and how they break the news and all that stuff. I think that was a good part of the story. I know we got to wrap it up, but a couple other things we need to touch on are the design.
Hmm.
Um, and what did you think of the design?
I thought it was okay. I was a little I'm hung up on the I don't know how this is gonna work with the rest of the MCU because it's just so different.
It is.
Oh, there's the timer.
Oh, you're serious about this. We have to be done.
See, you haven't listened to an episode, have you? How do I turn this off? Oh
I
goodness.
just want to I just want to say that I want to see a Silver Surfer movie, and I'm excited if she's the one anchoring it. I love the
Yeah.
Silver Surfer.
No, yeah, me too. And it'd be cool if the other one showed up too. What's his name? Not Jor-El. Silver Surfer's name. The other one. What's his name?
You mean from the old movies?
Norin Rad. There's two Silver Surfers, right?
I can't remember. It's been like 30 plus. I read a lot of Silver Surfer, and I can't remember that.
Yeah, Norin Rad is his name, and then the Julia Gardner is the other one. Casey, you should know this stuff. What's her name?
I read I read a decent amount of Silver Surfer. I just can't remember. Is the podcast still going, or are we just chatting right now?
I mean, yeah, it's still going. Shala Ball.
Yeah, Shallabal. And then I would also like to see a Quasar movie.
What's that?
Did you ever read any Quasar?
Is that the dog?
No, Quasar was this guy who got his hands on these bracelets from an alien race, and it gave him these like kind of quantum powers. He was almost like a Marvel Superman, but
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that comic.
Yeah. I've never heard of it.
But I mean, if we can make Guardians of the Galaxy work like a B comic book from
Yeah.
Marvel, we can make Quasar work. It would basically be like Captain Marvel. It's there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah. I think what was nice about this movie was that I was entertained, I wasn't bored, and it was a movie about a family, which is what the Fantastic Four are. And it's just like, why has this been so hard for us to nail the landing on this movie? But um I do wonder if I was going in with such low expectations, if I was just a little bit easier on it because of that. But
If
so
that's the case, the rest of the world is on the same page as you, because I think almost everybody thought it was good.
yeah, I
But
don't
it
know.
might be an issue of like low expectations though.
Yeah, I don't know what they could have done better other than CGI, which I think is an issue just in general with superhero movies right now. All right, out of 10 Herbies, what's your final score for the Fantastic Four First Steps?
What's a Herbie?
Herbie? Did you see the
Yeah.
movie?
Oh, the robot.
The little robot? Are you sure you watched this movie, Casey?
I'll give it 8 Herbies.
Only 8?
Yeah.
Oh, not me, dude. I'm going 10. I'm going 11 Herbies out of 10.
So this is like
I loved it.
Citizen Kane, Godfather, level good.
It's the Godfather.
Goodfellas.
It's the Goodfellas of MCU movies.
It's not. It's not Endgame or Black
Okay,
Panther.
it's the Goodfellas of Fantastic Four movies. How about that? Casey, you don't realize we've been waiting so long for a good Fantastic Four movie. I'm 38 years old and I've been reading these people since I was 10. Can you imagine
You're right, Russ.
all the people that started reading them in the 60s? You know, they've been waiting.
Those poor people. That's just awful. You're right. I had no idea. I did not know that we were waiting for a good Fast and Furious. Thanks for explaining that to me,
Well,
Russ.
maybe you weren't, Mr. Superman, Batman, having all these great movies, okay?
Batman and Daredevil are my favorites. So Batman, it's all good. Daredevil movie, that Colin Farrell one, I liked it at the time. It doesn't hold up
It wasn't
well.
Colin Farrell, it was Ben Affleck.
Oh, wait, no. Colin Farrell was Bullseye.
He wasn't Daredevil, though.
Yeah, you're right. It was Ben Affleck. It wasn't that good though.
All right, so eight Herbies for Casey, 10 Herbies, no, 11 Herbies for Russ. 4 stars if we're doing the Roger Ebert, 2 thumbs up. Casey, it was great to be back with you in a film setting. So thank you so much. What should our next movie be?
The Odyssey's too far out. What's a good one that's coming out this year?
I don't know. I thought maybe we could do our top 10 movies of the year at the end of the year.
I'm down.
See if we could get
You know, I have a list. I'm already working on it.
see if
If
we could
you're
get
not on
little.
Letterbox,
Are you on Letterbox?
I am on Letterbox.
Of
So
course
if
you are.
all my fans out there listening to this episode can find me on Letterbox.
If Mickey hasn't, I'm sure he will. So I'm on
Yeah, I have
Plex.
a
I use
huh?
Plex. I'm on Plex.
You and what, two other people?
There's a small community of us where we're out there doing the Lord's work. So
I thought Plex was a streaming platform. Is it like, because Letterbox is basically like social media for movies. Is that what Plex is?
yeah, it's trying to become Letterboxed, I think. So
Was it a platform first though? A
yeah,
streaming
yeah,
platform?
like a digital movie locker.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm just trying to be different, you know.
So you didn't like the design of this movie, huh?
I thought it was fine. I just thought, wow, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna? It doesn't look like the MCU. Like, what are they gonna do?
You're right. It doesn't look like the MCU, but I thought it was very cool and distinctive. They basically made a really cool MCU Jetsons movie,
Yeah,
design
no,
wise.
I agree. I just think, there's some explaining to do, in the words of Desi Arnaz. Lucy, you have some explaining to do. So, who's the guy that makes the movies? Kevin. You got some explaining to do. But Casey, until next time, thank you so much for being my guest here to talk about this fantastic movie. Yeah, please let us know what you think of it on Twitter. I'm trying to get 500 followers. I have 42, so love for you to follow me on Twitter. And other than that, Casey, do you want to plug anything?
Go see Sinners and Warfare. If you everybody's seen Sinners at this point. Have you seen it,
Yeah,
Russ?
Sinners is on Max as well. I did. I saw Sinners in the theater. So
All right, go see Warfare.
okay. So yeah, find Casey on Letterboxd. And what's the alcoholics app you use?
Untapped. But I'm more of a spirits guy than I am a beer guy now. It's a beer app.
Oh, it's
I
only
don't
for
have a
beer.
good, yeah, I don't have a good spirits app to recommend.
Okay, well, find Casey on Untapped and Letterboxd. But yeah, until next time, Casey, you're fantastic.
You too, Russ. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.